dioxide is added to neutralize the chlorine. But the water isn't just released and forgotten. Enter the Guardian. Under the direction of Captain Mike Cook, the Guardian goes out weekly to collect water samples both above and below the release point. He also checks water temperature.
And then we do a visual inspection of the way the river looks. Is there a lot of floating debris? Is there a lot of fungus? Is there a lot of oil on the river?
The water samples go back to the lab for testing to verify the treated water is safe for the fish, plants, and animals that live along the river. But not all of the treated water goes back into the river. In the late 1990s, the plant began installing a water recycling system. The system uses this purple pipe to help identify the recycled water. By 2003, the plant and several local Elk Grove communities began using this recycled water to irrigate parks, schools, commercial sites, and roadway medians. Today, up to 3 million gallons of water per day is pumped to a recycling tank where it's filtered and disinfected for landscaping uses. An expansion is now underway to extend the use of recycled water to other areas. But this environmental consciousness isn't limited to water recycling. There have been huge advancements in other areas, like energy. The sludge and microorganisms left over from the bottom of the settling tanks are put into digesters to break down the solids. One byproduct of this process is methane gas. The Carson cogeneration plant, right next door to the treatment plant, buys the gas. They use it to produce electricity, enough for about 50,000 homes in Elk Grove, and they sell enough back to the treatment plant to run the digesters. Carson also uses the gas to produce steam, which serves as an energy source for a private on-site ice producer. Recycling the methane has led to cleaner air and an alternative energy source, which benefits the entire Sacramento region. Well, you'd think after all of this treatment and recycling there wouldn't be anything left. Not so. There are still leftover solids from the digester. In the past, these biosolids went to lagoons for treatment. Later, a dredge would pull it up from the bottom of the lagoons, and tractors would then inject it into on-site line disposal areas. But thanks to advances in technology, scientists and engineers have figured out how to turn almost 30% of our biosolids into a reusable product, fertilizer. SRCSD and Synagro Technologies have joined forces to operate this state-of-the-art biosolid recycling facility that went online in January of 2005. This plant is California's first facility to use heat drying to create fertilizer pellets from biosolids, and one of only 13 similar recycling facilities operating nationwide. The plant currently processes over 7,000 dry tons of biosolids annually into high-quality organic fertilizer that is marketed in California. Jointly, the treatment plant, cogeneration plant, and the biosolids recycling facility work together to reuse as much waste product as possible for the health of the environment and the community. These are just some of the ways the Sanitation District is currently working with other agencies and organizations. They're also branching out to work with area developers and park, planning, utility, transportation, and environmental agencies to establish the Upper Laguna Creek Corridor. This collaborative planning process is taking a proactive approach to the area's growth. The corridor is being designed to accommodate stormwater runoff, healthy stream and floodplain waters, underground pipelines, wildlife, and recreation trails. This three-phase plan is slated to guide the development of the Laguna Creek watershed area through the year 2023. But this close attention to neighbors and wildlife isn't new. In the 1970s, habitat specialists suggested that the 2,600 acres surrounding the treatment plant could benefit the community and environment by becoming a wetland preserve.
We could just put a fence around the entire property and call it good. But what we try to do out here is recreate the habitat that existed hundreds of years ago, and then we manage that habitat to maximize the quality and the productivity for our area's wildlife.
After years of planning, rebuilding, and lots of care and attention, this once undeveloped open space has become a self-contained working eco-environment. The flourishing wetlands, grasslands, streamside, and riparian forests are home to hundreds of plants and animals. Over 200 species of birds live here year-round, and many more migrate during the winter. The Bufferlands team holds many events throughout the year where the public can see, volunteer, and learn more about this natural habitat. Getting involved is only a click away at bufferlands.com. Just one more example of technology in balance with nature. SRCSD has many projects in the works for all of its residents, both two- and four-legged. And as the Sacramento region continues to grow, the need for high-quality sewage service must expand to meet those needs. We're dedicated to serving the community, protecting public health, and helping Mother Nature keep our rivers clean so that future generations will continue to have the resources we're so fortunate to use today. Conserving what we can, recycling, and preserving the environment are our goals. They go hand in hand. John Muir once said, "When we try to pick out anything by itself, we find it hitched to everything else in the universe." Nowhere else is this more evident than in the preservation of our freshwater sources.